From seeing the awful PGA and LIV merger happen right in front of his eyes to feeling like a sacrificial lamb, here's why Rory McIlroy hates LIV golf. Rory's never shied away from showing his hatred toward LIV, and now he's got even more reasons to pick a bone with the rival league. While speaking at the Canadian Open, he was asked how he feels about the two leagues uniting, and his response says it all. He agrees that the PGA's merger with the DP World and LIV Golf's good for the game, but he says it doesn't change the way he feels about the Saudi-backed league. Rory has mixed emotions about the decision, and at the moment, he's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. He says he still hates LIV and wants it to go away, and he's hoping that sooner or later, his wish will come true. As far as I'm concerned, though, that's wishful thinking, and I think it's clear by now that, like or not, LIV is here to stay. Rory's always been anti-LIV, but one of the reasons he hates the league so much is personal. I'm talking about his feud with Phil Mickelson. Every golf fan knows the two aren't on good terms, and the source of the feud was LIV. Now with the merger, their broken relationship will get even worse over time. I mean, Rory's the same guy who cussed out Mickelson in the final episode of Full Swing, and he even hoped that his words would make it in. After that episode, their beef escalated quickly, and Mickelson made sure that their war didn't stop. After hearing Rory's comments, Phil claimed that no LIV team would ever want the Ulcerman, because they'd be forced to deal with Rory's. This isn't the only clash Rory's had with the LIV players either. He's been speaking against Greg Norman, Sergio Garcia, and Patrick Reed. Rory's not the only PGA star to have had clashes with the LIV players, though. Remember how Billy Horschel called LIV stars hypocritical when they turned up at the BMW PGA? So the merger will only worsen the relationships between PGA golfers and all of the defectors, and even if both sides are trying to reevaluate everything now, the damage is already done. Rory's been vocal about the harm the Saudi-funded league has caused, and that leads me to another reason why he'll never like LIV golf. He's always said that there's no peace in golf, even if the leagues join hands, because the golfers who irreparably harmed the PGA Tour will never be welcomed back to the tour without consequences. Well, he's right about that one. Everyone remembers all those secret deals and sudden exits because it left a bad taste in the mouths of millions of loyal PGA fans. Rory does agree that the new deal will help the PGA enjoy a better future, but that doesn't mean individual players will have any added benefits. Rory argues that the golfers who left the PGA for money will soon be sacrificed for other purposes. I don't know about you, but that sounds ominous. On top of that, Rory demands that the defectors face consequences because they harmed the PGA and even started litigation against it, and he's stunned that the tour is allowing them to return without any penalty. Rory said that wouldn't happen, and he called out the defectors, saying that they weren't going to bring them back, as if nothing ever happened. One of the biggest reasons that Rory hates LIV golfers, though, is because of all those Twitter wars and the continuous shaming game that was at its peak, and LIV players definitely had the upper hand there. Apart from the disrespect, those players damaged the tour on a professional level. But despite this, Rory hasn't lost hope. He's confident that PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan will handle the situation and won't let everything LIV Golf made the PGA go through slide. Not to mention, Rory's comments are music to Jay's ears because he's being bashed hard for teaming up with LIV, which makes sense because he was the one who brought up the subject of 9/11, when the war between the leagues was just starting to heat up. Rory's the only person who's keeping it real with his feelings about the merger, but the DP World Tour's website shared some of Monahan's quotes, and they contract some of the things that Rory's been saying. One of the quotes on the website reads, "This transformational partnership recognizes the immeasurable strength of the PGA Tour's history, legacy, and pro-competitive model, and combines with it the DP World Tour and LIV to create an organization that will benefit golf players, commercial and charitable partners, and fans." So, by the sounds of things, Monahan doesn't plan on doing anything about the defectors. He's ready to let bygones be bygones, and it doesn't look like he'll be handling the situation, because the situation's over. It's all water under the bridge. Rory says that Monahan met with more than 100 PGA players, and that the players vented their frustrations in what became a very heated conversation that had players concerned about losing their PGA Tour cards. The players were afraid that the merger would make them lose their spots, especially in future tournaments, since LIV golfers would also be allowed to return to the PGA Tour. From the players' standpoints, I could see how that would sound really unfair, considering they all stuck by the PGA and never defected, despite LIV dangling multi-million-dollar carrots in front of their faces the whole time. And I'm sure Jay understands that too. Don't forget Jay suspended over 30 players from the tour after they defected to LIV. But as of now, he's confirmed that if the players were to return to the PGA Tour, there'd be a whole process for that. And you know that if the defectors come back to the PGA acting like they own the place, it'll only make Rory hate LIV even more. Another thing that Rory's clearly pissed about is the fact that he spent countless hours galvanizing everyone against a LIV, and then a short while later, the Rebel League becomes the PGA's partner. So Rory wasted countless hours of his life fighting against LIV, and he's finally realizing that it was all for nothing. No wonder he's so pissed. Rory understands that the Saudis want to spend boatloads of cash on golf, that they'll never stop, so the PGA Tour might as well tap into the cash flow and make use of it right away. But it's clear that Rory will be affected by all of this. And now he feels like he was used as a sacrificial lamb. That's why he's counting on Jay to make those who defected pay for their actions. Because he was the one who made that players-only meeting possible. That initially helped the tour fend off the rise of LIV Golf. From the beginning of all the LIV drama, he's been the loudest critic and the most active member of the tour's policy board. After doing all of that, he was among the last ones to hear the news of the merger. Unfair, right? And that's why Rory's been super pissed about the decision. He says it's hard for him to sit there and feel like a sacrificial lamb after putting himself out there, standing up for the PGA Tour, and that's what he gets in return. A nice hard slap to the face. And it's not only Rory feeling that way, Tiger Woods was also actively speaking out against LIV. Now with the sworn enemies turning into allies, his efforts must feel like a total waste of time. Not to mention, Tiger turned down $1 billion big ones to play for LIV and stay loyal to the PGA. Wonder if he regrets that now. But then again, Rory, being the professional that he is, says if he looks at the bigger picture, things will turn out to be great. But on a personal level, there are things that still need to be resolved. And at the end of the day, it's hard to deny that the PGA did its loyal golfers dirty. Do you want to know the biggest reason why Rory's always hated a LIV though? It all goes back to the source of money the Saudis used to fund the league. And now, he'll be forced to get funded by the same money. So there you have it, from feeling like a sacrificial lamb to seeing the PGA and LIV merger right in front of his eyes. That's why Rory McIlroy hates the LIV Golf.